Council, come to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I should pre-apologize. Our sound system is down for the night, so we're going to have to talk loud and get through it. The City Council has adopted a code of civility. As elected officials, we pledge to promote civility through extending respect to others, listening to understand, disagreeing without disrespect, engaging collaboratively, and speaking up to address incivility. This is the time I would talk about us being recorded and broadcast, and we're not doing either one of them, so I'll skip that one. We'll move, can I get a motion for approval of the tentative agenda?
So moved. Support.
Van Strylen, Randerhorst. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Randerhorst.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Vanstra.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Mandy Smith as city clerk. Code requires council to appoint a city clerk at the council meeting in January following the regular city election. Mandy has served as city clerk since 2016. This appointment is for a two-year term. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Randerhorst, Van Strylen. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Randerhorst.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Vanstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Randy Bogard as fire chief. Randy has served as a volunteer with the Pella Fire Department since 1985. He has served as fire chief for the last 4 years, and this appointment is for a two-year term. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Randerhorst, Van Strylen, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Randerhorst.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Vanstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
So Randy, you retain your unpaid job. Thanks for your willingness to serve. I would like to appoint Dave Hopkins as Mayor Pro Tem. The Mayor Pro Tem performs mayoral duties in the cases of absence of the mayor. Dave has been a council member since 2020. This appointment is for a two-year term. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Van Strylen, Carlstone. Any discussion? So because I received a couple emails concerning this appointment, I received a text from a member of the media wondering about this appointment. I'm going to address it publicly here as to my reasoning, and if anybody up here wants more conversation, come and see me. So just make sure we understand what the pro tem means. Obviously, the pro tem, mayor pro tem, stands in for me if I'm gone or incapacitated or whatever. And so the easy part of it is if I'm going to miss a meeting, which I should have asked Mandy, but I'm in my 7th year and I maybe have missed 5 meetings in 7 years. So at the start of the year, I look at the year's calendar and I figure out when I potentially might miss a meeting. And for 2026, the only conflict I have is on March 15. So I plan on being here. So that part of it is to run one of these meetings. Mike and Mandy have it so well prepared that if you can read, you can lead this meeting.
That's good.
The second part of it is why I chose Dave. We came in together. We were both elected for the first time together. And I think the more important, in my opinion, the more important duty of a mayor pro tem would be if I were incapacitated for any length of time. The mayor pro tem would have to stand in and lead this council and staff for me. And I believe that Dave's vision for what Pella needs and what Pella should be about aligns very closely with mine. So I feel very comfortable that if something happened and I did have open heart surgery. Yeah. And I think I only missed one meeting when I had that. But anyway, so if I were incapacitated at any point, I feel very comfortable that Dave would stand in for me and do the same types of things that I would be doing. So that's my explanation. As I said, if anybody up here wants further explanation, I'll visit with you anytime you want to do that. So, is there any other discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Carlstone,
Yes.
Danstruck,
Yes.
Vanderhorst,
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. I would like to reappoint Michael Lyons to the Community Services Board. Michael has served on this board since 2017, attending 20 of the 29 meetings held during his last term. If approved, his new 3-year term would expire on December 31, 2028. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Vanderhorst, Van Strylen, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Vanderhorst.
Yes.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Danstruck.
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. Mandy Stellick. I would like to reappoint Kayla Stellick to the Community Service Board. Kayla has served on this board since 2023, attending 18 of the 22 meetings held during her term. If approved, her new 3-year term would expire on December 31, 2028. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Van Strylen, Carlstone, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Carlstone,
Yes.
Danstruck,
Yes.
Vanderhorst,
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. This time we have an opportunity for a public forum. Anyone wishing to address council regarding any agenda item. Being as we don't have a usable microphone, if you want to address us, you can just stand where you're at and try to talk loud enough so we can all hear you. Okay, seeing no one rising to their feet, we'll move on. Can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Vanderhorst, Van Strylen. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Vanderhorst.
Yes.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Danstruck,
I better abstain because of number 4.
Butler,
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. Move on to resolution number 6980, entitled Resolution Appointing Christine Stone as City Attorney. Mike?
Oh, yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item, and I'd like to direct everyone's attention to the big board for a presentation on this item. As Mayor DeWart stated, this resolution would approve Ms. Christine Stone as the city attorney. It's a 2-year appointment. It would expire if approved by council at the end of 2027. We have a little bit of background on Christine, but basically she served as city attorney in the capacity from 2018 through 2024. For the portion of the last 2 years in which she was not city attorney, we actually had Miss Emily Duffy. Christine supervised Emily, and Emily was actually the city attorney, but Christine was heavily involved over the last 2 years. So again, this agreement would appoint Christine and the Alders Law Firm as city attorney through the end of 2027. And with that, Mr. Mayor, staff is recommending approval of the agreement this evening, and more than happy to answer any questions the council may have on this item.
All right, thank you, Mike. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Vanderhorst, Carlstone, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Vanderhorst.
Yes.
Carlstone,
Yes.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Danstruck,
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 6981, entitled Resolution Approving Professional Service Agreement with Garden and Associates for the Water Main Loop Project at Pella Municipal Airport. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item. As Mayor DeWart stated, what this resolution would do is approve an engineering services agreement with Garden and Associates for our water main extension project at the Pella Municipal Airport. The project, we believe, will involve a new water main in the length of about 6,000 linear feet. What we have as far as a not to exceed engineering fees are an estimated, or approximately right around $80,000 for the project, which we believe is a fair fee in light of the complexity of this project that we have. And if council may recall, through our development agreement with Pella Corporation, we are responsible for extending a water main at the Pella Municipal Airport, help provide fire flow protection for the new hangar out at the Pella Municipal Airport. That project needs to be completed by September 30th of this year, so this engineering agreement is somewhat timely. And with that, Mr. Mayor, we are recommending approval of the agreement this evening. Be more than happy to answer any questions the council may have on this item.
All right, thank you, Mike. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Support.
Van Strylen, Branderhorst, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Branderhorst.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Vanstra.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 6982, entitled Resolution Fixing Date for a Meeting on the Authorization of a Loan and Distribution Agreement and the Issuance of a not-to-exceed $245,000 Water Revenue Capital Loan Note of the City of Pella, State of Iowa, and provided for publication of notice therefore. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. And once again, I'd like to direct everyone's attention to the big board for a presentation on this item. As Mayor DeWard stated, what we're simply doing with this resolution is we're establishing January 20th as the public hearing date for proposed loan through the Iowa Finance Authority. And specifically what this is going to help us do is pay engineering fees or fund engineering fees for a potential new well for our community. Now the amount of the loan would be approximately $245,000, and the great part about this loan is that when we look at the interest rate during the planning and design portion of this project, which will be a significant period of time, it's a 0% interest. And then what happens is once the project is constructed and placed into operation, or shortly once it's substantially complete, this loan will be rolled into a new SRF loan. Now generally the terms on a new SRF loan is generally over a 20-year period. In the past, we've got them sub 3%. The interest rates we just checked today was right around 3.19% for a 20-year loan, which is still a very good loan for this. But again, the purpose of the loan will be to support a new well for our community as well. Be more details to be shared on January 20th.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Support.
Banstra, Butler, any discussion?
Is this gonna be a Jordan well?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Vanstra.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
Branderhorst.
Yes.
Motion passed. Resolution number 6983, entitled Resolution Approving Assignment and Assumption of Airport Leases. Mike?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to explain this item. As Mayor DeWard stated, this resolution actually approves an assignment of airport ground leases for Weiler Transportation as well as Vermeer Manufacturing Company. A little bit of background on this. Both of these entities currently hold ground leases at the Pella Municipal Airport, and they'd like to transfer the leases to each other on it. And so what this lease agreement assignment does is, under their current ground lease, is the City Council needs to approve any potential assignments to both entities. From staff's perspective, both entities are in good standing with their current ground leases. And more importantly, what this assignment also does is it obligates the assignee, in this case would be these parties, to honor the terms of their existing lease that is being transferred to them. Now in the case of both Vermeer and Weiler, since they are exchanging hangars as a part of this transaction, there will be potentially additional amendments that we will be discussing down the road on it. But the first step in the process is approve the assignment agreement, which just simply transfers the ground leases to the respective parties, to each other's parties on this. So Weiler would be assigning their lease to Vermeer, and Vermeer would be assigning their lease to Weiler. The city attorney drafted this agreement this evening, and staff is recommending approval. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions the council may have on this item.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion for approval?
So support.
Carl Stone, Branderhorst, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, how many hangars out there do we lease,
Ground lease.
your ground lease?
Yeah, technically we have 4 currently under a ground lease.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Carlstone,
Yes.
Vanderhorst.
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Motion passed. Can I get a motion for approval of abstract of bills number 2190?
Move to approve and issue warrants.
Support.
Vanderhorst, Van Strylen, any discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Mandy, please call the roll.
Vanderhorst.
Yes.
Van Strylen.
Yes.
DeAnstruck.
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.
Motion passed. This time we have opportunity for a public forum. Anyone wishing to address council regarding anything else other than the agenda items, please, I guess, stand where you are and try to speak so we can hear you.
Try to use my teacher's voice again. I know you're coming into your favorite time of year, the budget hearings, and I know how complicated and confusing it can be to your citizens. So recently, I happened to pick up something when I was at my daughter's in Indianola. This was actually written on Christmas Day of 2025. And it says, Indianola property taxes headed up, services likely to be cut. And it went into detail about every area and what's gonna be cut from every area and why they're doing this. And it was kind of interesting, they have a $200,000 pickleball agreement with Simpson, they're gonna cut it. They have, they're really looking at their hotel motel tax because they have to do some changes. They're gonna have to do some cutting. It talked about, it just went on and on, what they're gonna collect about $43.5 million, but they're gonna spend almost $49 million. And I thought, it was put in layman's terms for the average citizen to be able to understand what's going on. And I just wish that we could have something like this as citizens of Pella to also see about where our tax monies are going in the city. This happened also to be placed out on Facebook and other places in the community there, and the response to it was very, very overwhelming, the replies and things. So just something to consider going into this budget year, just to make it more transparent to the citizens of our community and what's going on with our monies. It is our monies, and so we should know what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Leanne Hesse, and I live at 512 Lincoln Street, so you can probably guess I'm talking about the Lincoln Street project. This project was scheduled to start July 7, however, it didn't start until September and is still nowhere near completion. Last Friday, January the 2nd, the workers were actually at work for a change. I had heard some banging on the east side of my house, and when I looked out, first I didn't see anything. I thought maybe they were checking the water again, because on Thursday, December 22, when they were working on studying my house for the new water main, something went wrong and I was without water for almost 24 hours. And by the way, the gentleman from Garden Associates provided water for our house. He was very kind. Later this day, last Friday, I left to run some errands, and then I realized that what the workers had done was plug in an extension cord in my outside outlet, and they were using it for their work down the street, and I have photos. I was very upset. I didn't want to just unplug it because I didn't know this group of gentlemen. So I did go talk to the Garden Associates gentleman. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. He was shocked. I then went to City Hall and asked who to talk to. I was told to talk to Mr. Nixon. I showed the pictures, and he said that he would go and talk to the gentleman. I would suggest in the future that the city does not just hire whoever is the lowest bid, but instead hires a company with a better reputation than this company, and preferably a local company. This company comes from Tama, and there have been many, many days when they just don't show up at all. I've seen comments on Pella Rants and Raves that, well, weather affects things, but there have been many nice weather days when they don't show up. For example, on Christmas Eve, they were supposed to work a half a day and they didn't show up at all. The Garden Associates gentleman said they thought weather in Pella was not going to be good. If a local company was hired instead, not only would they be able to arrive earlier on work days, but also their reputation would be on the line, and they might care more about doing a better and a more professional job. The Lincoln Street job is turning out worse than 2024's Union Street job. The original ending for this Lincoln Street job was supposed to be Friday, November 22nd. It is now January 6, 2026, and the job is not even halfway done. The part of Lincoln Street project that they haven't even started on yet, from the intersection of East First past the intersection of Houston and Lincoln, is part of the tour bus route at tulip time. I hope that this will be taken into serious consideration when works picks back up in the spring, because I personally don't trust promises from this company. For now, I hope that the construction update text that I received on Wednesday holds somewhat true. However, according to that text, last Friday, some tidying up, especially of sidewalks, quote unquote, was to happen, but it didn't. There are currently no usable sidewalks on either side of Lincoln Street between East Second and East First. We have to make our way around deep holes and also piles of dirt left beside the holes after the workers have finished stubbing in the water and sewer to our homes. Again, I hope that in the future, the city pays more attention to who they hire for these kinds of projects. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Well, yeah. 2509 Schulte Straat. What's the status of the underground power to the Jordan Well on Idaho Drive?
Mandy, is Nate Spurgeon on the line?
Yes. It'll take me just a second.
I can, I'll go ahead and try to answer that. As far as the underground line, it's been placed into service and it's currently feeding Boss London along with the Jordan Well, but we still need to make the individual residential connections on the line on Idaho Drive, and that's gonna be occurring over the next probably year on that as well. As soon as we get everyone switched to the underground, that's when the overhead line will come down.
And then the underground, the overhead will come down?
The overhead will come down at that point in time.
Good.
So.
But to the well and to Boss Land, and it is.
That is my understanding, yes,
underground
yes,
now.
yes.
Good, a little,
Mhm.
good reliability then.
Mike, you got it exactly right there. The underground is energized and complete, so everybody that is fed, used to be fed from the overhead lines in Boss Landon has been converted over, the well has been converted over, and you're precisely right, everybody along Idaho Drive, we just need to convert their services to underground now.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you. Several months ago, there was a $90-some thousand contract to deal with water leaks from the Mullengrad Canal. Whatever happened to that project?
That project has been completed in the plaza. What we actually did is we installed a membrane over the parking garage area, portion of the parking garage area in there due to water infiltration down into the Mullengrad garage. That project has been completed. It's been accepted by the city council.
Unfortunately, there's still water down in the garage around the transformer building. I thought that was the reason that we were doing all this.
It was a portion, it was over the mechanical and electrical, the electrical room of the Mullengrad is the portion that we covered in phase 1 of the project. During the spring and in the budget season, we'll be talking about potentially phase 2 and additional projects over the garage as well. So those projects will be considered in the future.
I didn't recall at the time that we talked about 2 phases. I thought getting the water off the transformer room was the
That
purpose of it.
was what was accomplished with phase 1 was the transformer room that you're referring to. That was phase 1 of the project, but there's additional areas in the garage that are still leaking down there. That
Well,
is
it's
true.
right by the transformer room, it's in front of the door.
What's that?
And
But
is
it's
that
out of
the
the,
transformer?
it's my understanding, it's out of the transformer and the
Yeah,
electrical
the
room.
transformer rooms are dry now.
They are dry.
It's not dry.
It's
as
in the
of
room,
today,
it-
there was
in
a
the-
big puddle of water down there.
In the room, it is dry. They just replaced all the doors today.
Okay.
inside the room. This is outside of the transformer room at the bottom of the entrance ramp. And
Well, what
it's
about the
dry in the
transformer
rooms.
room, at the far end, as you go up to the hotel? Isn't that a transformer room there too?
Under the hotel?
You are correct. There are two transformer rooms there. There's one on the south central, and that's the one that we had the membrane fixed above. The transformer room to the east end has a leak that's coming in from a conduit that's connected to a manhole out in the alley by the historical village there. And we've been fighting trying to get that leak stopped. We're trying some various products. We tried a foam product that didn't seem to hold the water back, and we tried a CO2 cartridge that fills up an airbag that did not seem to hold the water back. So we're working with our vendors to try to stop that leak in the far end of the garage, far east end of the garage.
Is that a danger for people going to the hotel? Walking through the water?
No, the water's coming through from a pipe, and everything inside that room is dead front other than the transformer itself, and the transformer is raised up on a 4-inch pad. So unless the water gets to 4 inches deep or deeper, you're not going to have any concerns with your electrical shock hazards.
So you hope to get it taken care of soon?
Mr. Young?
Yes, we've tried 2 different products, and we're working on a third now.
Yeah. And there's likely going to be additional areas of the Mullengrot garage where we may consider putting an additional membrane over those as well. And that will be discussed with the city council this spring, so.
Good.
Okay.
Good, I was a little concerned about safety there.
Mhm.
What's the purpose of the sign-in sheet? Are you keeping track on us or what?
Mandy, do you want to answer that?
It has been that way for a long time. That would be the answer to it.
That's not a very good, really satisfactory answer for
Well,
me.
I apologize for that. That is a practice that we carry on. We do not require you to sign in. It has been referenced before when, such as yourself, bringing up questions. If we don't get your name, we can reference that you signed in. So it has been helpful before. It doesn't have an active purpose, no. And if you don't want to sign in, you don't have to.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Okay, anyone else?
I've got just a quick update. I'm Bob Sylster, I live at 835 Broadway. But mostly it's just an issue of giving you an update and asking for a little patience. We've been working with the ice skating rink for 2 weeks. And I think on Sunday afternoon, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle out there on conflict between hockey skaters and little kid skaters. And that's a bad combination. It's not so much the skater, it's the flying pucks. If you've never been hit by a puck, you don't want it to happen. You certainly don't want it to happen to a 6-year-old. So just to give you an idea, we're certainly working with the parks people and the Community Services Board. We've got updated scheduling and clarification, so we're trying to improve that with signage and really having the members of the Pella Ice Sports Association do a little bit of monitoring on it. I think if you have a little patience with it, my guess is we can make that problem pretty much go away here over the next few weeks. I've seen suggestions about maybe taking more aggressive action in terms of putting, attendance out and so on. I think it's premature to do that. So my encouragement is have a little patience. We've been at it 2 weeks. Give us a few more weeks and see if we can make that work so that it's sensible for all the users out there. So that's my 2 bits worth this afternoon.
Thanks much for doing that.
Yep, thank you.
What a great addition to the city.
Looks like a busy place when I walk
It
by
is.
it.
Very
That was the goal,
busy.
have it be a busy place,
Yeah.
but a good busy.
Yeah.
Yep,
Are we
thank
asking
you.
anybody to put helmets on, these kiddos, by the way? Not the hockey player, I assume the hockey players are wearing them, but.
The hockey players wear some. My guess is through the Ice Sports Association, it won't be very long. You're gonna have the formation of little hockey leagues.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a 12 and under league and an 8 and under league, we might get. Typically, as part of those, there are requirements for helmets and so on. The rest of it's skating. It's like you're using most of the facilities in the city. It's a skate at your own risk, and we recommend it, obviously, to put helmets on. But it's the kind of thing, it's tough to start when you start imposing those as requirements.
Okay, anyone else? All right, then we were going to adjourn to policy and planning, and our first item of discussion is a proposed amendment to the Lely Urban Renewal Plan.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As Mayor DeWart stated, the purpose of this session is to discuss an amendment to the Lele Urban Renewal Plan. And Mandy and Heidi will have the map here for us. But basically, when we look at the Lele Urban Renewal Plan, the original Urban Renewal Plan was formed in 2019. And at that time, it was used to accommodate help finance the public infrastructure that was necessary to support the Lele development, the Lele corporate headquarters. But the overall goal of the plan was to support additional commercial and industrial development within our community. And that's something very important to keep in mind as we talk about this proposed amendment this evening, as well as the potential projects that we're looking to help fund through urban renewal as well. Now, when we look at the Lele Urban Renewal Plan, what was originally approved in 2019 was this red area that you see here. Everything else that we are showing on the amendment in color is the proposed amendment that we have. And what we have listed was the eligible projects that would be associated with this amendment. So the very first thing that we would have is in this green highlighted area, as council is aware, we're planning to extend Baseline Drive to the north to meet the new University Street intersection with it. That's the reason why we're including the Pella Sports Park in this amendment as well. It was to help fund Baseline Drive extension. We're also planning on extending University Street from 240th Avenue all the way over to 250th Avenue, so we have the University Street right away within the project. Now, both of those projects, when we look at both the University Street and Baseline Drive project, that's probably a little light as far as the total estimated cost of these projects. It's roughly about $6.3 million on it. We'll have the new estimates on it because that counts probably the engineering that we've already spent as well as the right-of-way acquisition on the plans. But the construction cost is an estimated $5.6 million for those two streets. And so the numbers that if we proceed with the development may be a little bit higher, but it'll account for contingency plans on urban renewal as well. Now, what we're also planning to do as far as new public infrastructure is either this next spring or next year, or potentially it may be delayed by a year, is we're planning on renovating the eastern portion of Oskaloosa Street, specifically from Oskaloosa Street on Southeast 6th Street to 250 feet past the intersection of 240th Avenue. We're also planning, so we'll start here and we'll go approximately 250 feet past the Pella Christian entrance and renovating the street. So this will be a total reconstruction. Right now, it's commonly referred to as a county road or a rural cross section. We're going to be putting this as a regular city street, so it'll be an urban cross section. What we'll also do for 250 feet north on 240th Avenue through this project is we'll renovate 240th Avenue, and we're going to come down on Eagle Lane and plan to renovate a portion of Eagle Lane with that project as well. There'll be a policy and planning session probably within the next 30 days on that project, because of when we previously discussed that in council at the same time also wanted to consider a roundabout at this intersection as well. By listing these projects in the proposed urban renewal plan means that they would be eligible for tax increment financing revenues from the Lele Urban Renewal Plan on this, but it does not obligate the City of Pella to dedicate urban renewal funding for these projects as well. So once again, when we look at these projects and we talk about new development, new commercial and industrial development, the argument and the thought with staff is when we talk about the University Street extension, the Oskaloosa Street extension here on it, that these projects will stimulate potential new commercial development on the eastern side of our community. And if that happens, it makes sense to include those projects for urban renewal funding through TIF for this as well. Now, the last item that we have that I want to make sure we're all aware of is we're looking to include the new industrial park that we have on the eastern side of our community. If you were to drive out there now, currently those lots are vacant, but we anticipate with potential development, additional development occurring in the next few years, that there could be development on those parcels as well. So that's the one piece of vacant developable property that we're including within the plan as well. So overall, when we look at funding sources for public infrastructure projects, which would, just to summarize again, would be the University Street extension project that we have out here, would be the Baseline Drive extension project that we have here, as well as the Oskaloosa Street reconstruction project that we have down here. We believe each one of those projects could stimulate additional commercial and industrial growth on the eastern side of our community. Since they have that potential, we believe that it makes sense to include them in the Lele Urban Renewal Plan amendment. So with that, before I go on, Mr. Mr. Mayor. I'd like to know if council has any questions on this, so, this proposal.
Mike, it may be a dumb question, but at least for my sake, would you walk through why wouldn't we just draw a bigger square around this? So we don't have to do this 12 times.
Makes a lot of sense, and that's not a dumb question either on it. Now, the bigger square on it, the reason why we need to be a little careful on what we include in this area is under Iowa urban renewal laws, that if you start mixing residential development with industrial and commercial development, it creates complications on what your plan is. And so we're probably looking at like this vacant area, why don't we just include that area in there? This time, we're not sure the intentions of the property owner, what that could develop is, if it's commercial or if it's residential. But there's specific laws under urban renewal areas for residential development, and we tend to separate residential development from commercial development on that. And that's why we're just sticking right now with just the commercial areas, or areas that we feel comfortable that there could either be additional commercial or an industrial growth.
Does that become a mechanism then to better forward plan for where, like we're doing industrial commercial here, to direct where the industrial commercial development can be going forward before plans are made for anything? Could that be a mechanism to help direct that? For instance, spitballing close to the Oskaloosa Street East, X number of feet, both sides, or some, I don't know, just spitballing, but that's obviously not ideally residential. The exit there, you know, I don't know, it seems to me like you could kind of say this would ideally be commercial, industrial, not residential. Is that a mechanism to use with that, or I'm not trying to get the cart in front of the horse, but.
Yeah, there's a couple, that's an excellent question, again, Dr. Carlstone. With urban renewal, it's important to keep in mind that you can't necessarily split parcels on it. So if you include areas in the urban renewal plan, you got to take the entire parcel. And again, if we had a crystal ball, and hopefully there'll be lots of development on the eastern side of our community on this, but if we had a crystal ball and knew what was going to be commercial and industrial, we'd include a larger geographical area right now. But the only thing that we know or have an inclination on is this property is zoned, I believe, commercial and industrial out there as well, and that's why we're including it. The rest of it is currently ag land and yet to be determined on it. And as development occurs out there, and we know those plans, we can always make amendments to the Lele Urban Renewal Plan for additional commercial and industrial. But for anything residential out here, you're talking most likely in a new urban renewal plan for those areas.
Is all of the green area in the city limits?
No. The lower half of the Pella Sports Park, so it'd be this parcel right here, I do not believe is inside the city limits.
Shouldn't we bring it into the city?
Yes, we can. That's up to the city council as far as annexation. With this, let me take this a step back. The answer to that is yes, we can bring that in. The reason why we haven't annexed that parcel in is when you look at the road, it's kind of a mixed bag down here, and I don't have up the geographical, the corporate boundaries. But when you look at this, we have some parcels that are, certain areas are in Marion County, some of them are in the city of Pella, and at some point in time, there will need to be an annexation on the eastern side of our community where you clean this up just simply for roadway control, if nothing else, on the project, and that day is probably coming sooner rather than later. And our thoughts is at that time, when we have other annexations planned on the eastern side of our community, it would make sense at that time to go ahead and annex the property.
Kind of follow up on John's, that original urban renewal plan needed the signatures of the supervisors from both counties.
Mm-hmm.
Does an amendment need a signature as well from them? Because the language was kind of interesting, because it says it hereby agrees and authorizes the city of Pella to establish this plan.
Yeah.
And even though what we're looking at the changes aren't in either the counties, I was wondering if they need to approve this amendment as well.
Marion County may have to. That's currently our legal counsel is looking at that, and they'll let us know if we need to have another agreement similar to what we had in 2019, or if the existing agreement would cover it as well. But the areas that would be in rural Marion County that we believe would be portions of the University Street extension that we have up here, as well as the lower half of the Pella Sports Park. So the supervisors may have to be involved. We should know that within the next few days if we're going to have an additional agreement with Marion County.
If we had to, we could annex into Mahaska County too, couldn't we?
Yes.
And wouldn't that help with our first responder problem we have as well, where we are just a road away from being in Mahaska County, just a couple houses? That I think it would be beneficial for that department as well.
Yeah, I think that's another excellent point. Annexation, there's a lot of benefits to annexation. In addition, it also addresses the issue about entities or, residential property that's just outside the city limits, and for all intents and purposes derives a lot of the benefit from living inside the city, but the City of Pella doesn't necessarily receive property tax funding from them as well. So there's roadway control, equity issues, as well as public safety issues that you should consider with annexation. And as we open and prepare to open up the Pella Recreation Center, the issue of annexation on the eastern side of our community should be discussed as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, as far as the time sensitivity of this project, since we're looking at bidding the University Street extension and the Baseline Drive extension this spring, we need to, this amendment is somewhat of a time-sensitive amendment. If we're going to go forward, we need to probably have a very short time, not a short time period, but it should have to move rather quickly if we decide to move forward on it. Because our thoughts is that University Street and Baseline Drive project will probably be bid sometime, or the hearing of the council will likely be the second meeting in February or even the first meeting in March, which means this amendment may take place by mid-February, or formal consideration of this by February 17th on it as well. So with that, we are looking for direction this evening, Mr. Mayor, whether we should move forward or not with this proposed amendment.
Yeah, and I was, when the issue Calvin brought up with the county and stuff, I assume that if we move forward, by the time we would vote to actually approve this, you would have all those answers. Those all, tonight is a discussion. We're not making any decisions now, but I think we could get all those questions answered before we actually bring it to a vote.
I see no reason why not to move forward.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay. Anything else coming, agenda items coming up?
Just a few items, Mr. Mayor. We do have listed on the items that are likely to be discussed here within the next 30 to 60 days that we have. Also included that's not on the list is a discussion that will occur on 215 Main Street with that project. Will either be on January 20th or February 3rd. That would be the one item that I would include that's not listed above. But it'll be a busy next couple, probably the next 30 to 60 days at City Council. So.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mike. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 21.5, Paragraph 1J, to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only where premature disclosure would be reasonably expected to increase the price the governmental body would have to pay for that property, or reduce the price the governmental body would receive for that property.
Support.
Ben Stryland and Branderhorst. All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no.
Dan Stryland.
Yes.
Branderhorst.
Yes.
Butler. Carlstone.
Yes.
Banster.
Yes.
Motion passed. We're back in open session, and I don't think there's any motion coming out of this. So
Motion to adjourn.
I will entertain a motion to support Calvin and Stryland. I'm sorry, Banster and Stryland. All in favor, please say yes. Opposed, no. Nay, please no.
Bienstra,
Yes.
Van Strylen,
Yes.
Branderhorst,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Carlstone.
Yes.